Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Wayfarer Ways. Last time you saw me, I just arrived here in Kampot, definitely still dazed and tired from that whole long journey. But now it is 1 month later, and I want to catch you up on what's been going on. You know, when I first arrived here, I thought I'd be hitting the ground running and filming some things, but instead I just stopped. And I realized I needed to. And there are two reasons for that, and that's what this video is going to be about. So let's get into reason number one. The first reason I didn't start filming right away was that I was completely exhausted. From the moment I decided to leave Colorado to the day I arrived here in Kampot, it was about 2 months of non-stop action, physically, mentally, and emotionally. After deciding to leave, I spent my time sorting, throwing things away, packing, selling positions, and simplifying my life, all the while continuing to work and handle my daily responsibilities. Then I said my goodbyes and left on a cross-country drive. But as I drove across the country, I kept active by filming for both this channel and my other one, and after 5 days on the road, I made it to California. From there, I spent a couple of weeks continuing to downsize, getting rid of more things, sorting, filming, editing, and working on videos. But I also made time to be with family, to see friends, to meet up with my best friend for a big walkabout of San Francisco, and to have dinner with his family. Then came the long trip to get here. 36 hours of travel, multiple flights, security checks, immigration lines, and finally, the bus to Kampot. I even walked the last kilometer to get to my guest house. And underneath all of that movement and doing, there was this mental side, this tug of war happening in my head. Because as excited as I was about returning to Southeast Asia and stepping into this next adventure, there was still that quiet voice inside telling me to play it safe, to stay in America, to not take the risk. Because even then, that part of the mind that resists change, even when you know you're meant to do this crazy idea that you have, was still active. Therefore, when I finally got into my room in Kampot, something in me just said, enough. My mind and body said, Mike, you've done it, you made it, the goal's been accomplished. Now it's time to chill out, resettle, recalibrate, and rest so that you can step into this next chapter strong, healthy, and ready. So for that first month, I didn't plan or push myself to create videos. I just let myself breathe and allow everything to settle. It was a necessary pause after all that intensity. A moment to recover, to realign, and to simply just be here. And it helped greatly because it also gave me room to do something else that I needed to do. And that brings me to reason number 2 of why I didn't create any videos during the first month here. So let's get into that now. The second reason I didn't start filming right away is because I already had a full backlog of footage waiting to be turned into videos. Before I even got here, I've been filming a lot in the States, and I had hours of material that needed to be edited, organized, and uploaded. And I knew that if I didn't use my first month here in Cambodia to handle all that, it would just sit there, and my channels wouldn't be moving forward. So, part of the plan even before I left was to give myself that creative breathing room to arrive, settle in, and spend the first month catching up. I knew it would take that long because there was just that much footage to work through. I also wanted to build a bit of a buffer, a small library of finished videos, so that once I started filming new material here in Cambodia, I wouldn't feel rushed or behind. I'd have that cushion of videos ready to go. So that's what I did. For the first month I stayed put. I worked from my guest house and from cafes, editing, sorting through all the clips, rendering, uploading, and organizing everything. It took just over a month to finish it all, but it was worth it. Because while I was sitting here in Kampot doing that work, it also felt like I was closing a chapter, tying up the final pieces of my time in America before fully stepping into this new one here in Cambodia. And once that backlog was cleared, and once everything was uploaded and ready to go, I finally felt ready to pick up the camera again and start fresh. And while I was decompressing, getting settled in, and working through the flow of all that editing, there was something else that was going on in the background. Because those first couple of weeks brought their own set of doubts and internal conversations. When I first arrived in Kampot, after all the travel, the unpacking, and letting the dust settle from leaving the States, I started noticing these low points in my mind. I had expected the possibility because I lived overseas before, and the first weeks are always the hardest. My most recent move before this was to Vietnam in 2019, and I went through the same initial struggle there, so I knew it could happen again. In those first couple of weeks here, I found myself questioning everything. Did I make the right choice leaving home, leaving family, and just generally leaving the States? I even wondered if I should have stayed in San Francisco and started a whole new life there. It wasn't constant, but it was loud enough to make me pause and reflect. Because when you slow down and your mind finds room, it asks the hard questions. What if this doesn't work? What if I came all this way just to fail? On top of that, there's the reality of adjusting to a completely new place. Things work differently here. Routines are unfamiliar. Systems are different. The language is new. Even simple day-to-day tasks take more effort. You don't know where to find things or how life flows. That adjustment alone is its own challenge, layered on top of everything else. But I didn't run from these challenges. I moved through them, knowing from past experiences that if I could push through this stage, the other side of these struggles would be worth it. So slowly, little by little, I started finding my way through these hurdles, finding release from these initial difficulties. It wasn't easy and it didn't happen quickly, but I knew these challenges were natural, and I knew I could get through them. And that's exactly what I did. And that's where I found myself reconnecting with the deeper reason of why I'm doing this. One of the ways I got through those initial difficulties of arriving here was constantly reconnecting with my whys, the reasons I decided to take this leap in the first place. One thing that I kept reminding myself was that deep down, I knew I had to leave and go travel. Because if I didn't, I would have lived the rest of my life with that nagging question: what if I had left? What if I had actually gone out there and traveled the way I knew I should have? I didn't want to carry that regret. And part of me also knew that this is who I am. I'm a traveler. I need variety, adventure, to explore, to see the world beyond the familiar. Traveling across the States is wonderful, but my heart has always longed for more, for overseas experiences, for the unknown, for the world that stretches far beyond home. I also knew that timing matters. I'm in my 40s and still young enough to do this fully, to move freely, to embrace the energy and independence a traveler's life requires. Therefore, this is the moment to take the leap, before age or circumstance makes it harder to follow the path I know I'm meant to walk. And ultimately, this is about authenticity, about being true to myself, my spirit, and my soul. Coming here to Kampot, taking this step, and living this life is staying aligned with who I am at the deepest level. So holding on to all these whys, even in the moments of doubt after initially arriving, grounded me. It reminded me why I'm here, why I had to be here, and why every step forward, no matter how challenging, was worth it. And once I reconnected with all those reasons, something settled inside of me, and I could look around and notice what was happening. Because then, life here began to open up. I began meeting people who welcomed me, strangers who became friends and made me feel at home in this unfamiliar place. The guest house family, local shopkeepers, and fellow travelers I crossed paths with all added color, laughter, and warmth to my days. For instance, I was invited to celebrate Mao's birthday with the guest house family. Being part of that Cambodian family celebration alongside fellow travelers was the perfect example of the kind of experiences I came here to seek, the real living experiences that make travel meaningful. And then I got my motorbike. One of the things I absolutely love about Southeast Asia is riding motorbikes. There's something about hopping on, feeling the wind on your face, and moving through the streets and countryside that just fills me with a sense of adventure. It's not just about getting from place to place. It's about exploring, freedom, discovery, and experiencing life in a way that feels unbounded. Every ride becomes its own little adventure, a reminder of the freedom I came here to find and the joy of traveling on my own terms. Alongside these adventures, I started finding my own little routines too. Visiting favorite cafes, taking morning walks, and exploring at my own pace. All of it together brought me the joy of travel, the freedom of being here, and a sense of ease that comes from slowly settling into a rhythm. These experiences reminded me of why I had come here in the first place, and why every step forward, no matter how small, was worth it. Looking back at my first month here at Kampot, it makes me realize all the things that have happened. All the challenges, the surprises, the routines, and the moments of happiness too. And it makes you realize that travel is not just about the places you go, but it's also about how you show up in each moment, and how you stay true to yourself through all of that. So I hope that inspires you to go out there and experience life, the moments that make you feel true to yourself too. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching my first full video here in Cambodia. If you'd like to help support the channel, there are ways you can do so down below. You can like and you can subscribe, and there are other ways that you can do so in the description area too. And if you'd like to watch the next video, then click on the link that's somewhere near or around my head, something like that, and it'll take you right there. So take care, talk to you later, bye bye.